for things that make a good relationship, first of all, it depends on how the relationship started. It
Okay.
depends on the foundation in which the relationship is being built. So the problem in most relationships that bring about challenges in relationship is the fact that some people enter a relationship with maybe something to gain in mind. Some women go
Okay.
into a relationship maybe out of interest to gain something. Some men go into a relationship with women out of interest to gain something. But if there's a good foundation for the relationship, then a person should be able to know his right spec. And by right spec, I mean it as an acronym, SPEC. For me, compatibility relationships are very important. And
SPEC.
yes, SPEC. That is the rule I go by. By
Okay.
SPEC, I mean the social compatibility, physical compatibility, ethical compatibility, and conflict resolution compatibility.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems.
Welcome to Kingside TV. And today I'm with great minds to discuss how to build a good relationship. Today my guests are Fisher, that's Prince Will, yeah, also known as Fisher, Michael, Jeff, and Atta. You are all welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about things that can help build a good relationship. I will start from Jeff. Jeff, so what do you think are things that can help build a good relationship?
Okay, in my opinion, uh, I think I will center it around when it comes to communication.
Okay.
Communication is very important because if if you want to, for instance, if you meet someone that you don't know, then you really want to make sure that you become friend with a particular person. It entails you having constant like talking with a person. So I think
Okay.
relationship does not move an inch without communication. So we have to make
Okay.
sure that there is a not is it we have two types of communication. We have, for instance, I don't believe that as a young guy or someone who is working, you can spend 20 hours of your time on the phone. You see,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do that. When you compare it with unless someone who is not working or someone who doesn't have anything to do. So you can't spend all and it does not mean that you have to spend 20 hours to like develop a relationship with someone. Sometimes
Okay.
a little bit of you might be occupied, but a little bit of how are you doing? Just a call, just a text. Okay, that kind of things moves the relationship. And for instance, for guys, it might be even normal, but for ladies, it might mean a lot. For instance, you might be doing everything for the lady, but another guy who does nothing, but who has all the time in the world, can just giving her a constant test. How are you doing? How are you doing? And within some months, you'll be shocked that his attention might be diverted towards him. Do you get it? So communication
Yeah.
is very important when it comes to like trying to maintaining and develop relationship. My second one is also comes to honesty. I
Okay.
think there should be within both parties there should be conscious honesty within like all of you, like conscious efforts to develop. You have to be like disciplined enough to know that we are moving forward. For instance, unless it's for fun, but if it's not for fun, the lady and the guy, both of you have to be within that mindset that you want to go somewhere with the relationship. You want to lead to something. And when
Okay.
if it's supposed to lead to something, then there should be honesty. Okay. It will hurt that you might the next day you might find out that your partner or your fiancé might like he or she said something that you were not aware of, or he or she has like kind of hidden something from you. For instance, when I was in Ghana, we went to a wedding with a friend. Now
Okay.
the amazing thing was that the guy who was marrying, the wife had an affair with one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Wow.
though even though they had an affair after like they didn't have an affair when the guy was dating the girl. It was like it was the past. Do you get it? But at this moment, he didn't disclose like that kind of information to the guy. Then later on, when we sat as a guy, as a boys, then we were chatting. You know how boys chat.
Yeah.
Then the boy was giving loose comments, like unnecessary stuffs about how he did this with the girl and other stuff. Then later on, when the boy found that, it's turned into a whole problem. If it was not for the family that intervened, they would have like kind of gotten. So even though some of the information might be relating to your past, but for instance, if I'm friends with all of you, then I have a girl who has dated one of you. The girl cannot hide it from me. You can't hide it because they are my friends. At the end of the day, they will come back to the house to eat. They'll come back to the house to have fun. So there should be some of the information. So it's kind of communication, then honesty also moves together. So I
Yeah.
think the two things that for me I think is important if you really want to take the relationship from just being a state of dating to like something serious. I think these two things are important. Okay, so thank
Oh,
you.
all right. As you said, I watched a short videos, and then there were two guys with a lady. The lady went to her mom and then complained to her mom that he's currently having two guys in her life. One is always busy, and then there's the other one or gives her time, but the one gives her time is not having he's not working. But the one that is busy is working. Then the mom told her that if I were you, I would take the one who is always busy. But
Wow.
as Jeff said, because this guy always calls Sweetie, telling her street words. So later the lady just fall for the one who always says sweet words to her. And after moving in to stay with him, he found out that the guy is also having an affair with another woman with his sweet words. So yeah, so that's how it is. Now, Fisher, let me come to you.
Okay.
What do you also think about things that make a good relationship?
So for me, for things that make a good relationship, first of all, it depends on how the relationship started. It
Okay.
depends on the foundation in which the relationship is being built. So the problem in most relationships that bring about challenges in relationship is the fact that some people enter a relationship with maybe something to gain in mind. Some women go
Okay.
into a relationship maybe out of interest to gain something. Some men go into a relationship with women out of interest to gain something. But if there's a good foundation for the relationship, then a person should be able to know his right spec. And by right spec, I mean it as an acronym, SPEC. For me, compatibility relationships are very important. And
SPEC.
yes, SPEC. That is the rule I go by. By
Okay.
SPEC, I mean the social compatibility, physical compatibility, ethical compatibility, and conflict resolution compatibility. You know, by social compatibility, you got to look at aspects that aligns with you and your partner socially. Do your friends like your girlfriend or your fiancé? Or what is your opinion about that? Do your fiancé or your girlfriend, your partner, do her friends have a problem? Is your partner ashamed of you? Are you ashamed of your partner? Are you proud of your partner? These are some certain questions before going to a relationship. People have to ask, what is the social responsibility, compatibility between one and his partner? Is my partner someone that knows how to lavish and languish money? Is my partner somebody that is level-headed socially? Is my partner very outgoing and makes so many friends? How many friends can my partner have? And if my partner has certain friends, what kind of friends can my partner have? That is social compatibility. So when one puts that in perspective, you do not have any conflicts from the beginning, understanding that, for example, my girlfriend can have a bestie that is a guy, and I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with it. But if you are not socially compatible in that instance, it creates a problem in the long run. So in terms of social compatibility, there are lots of aspects to look at. Then let's go to the P of the spec. The P is physical compatibility.
Okay.
Your physique of your partner something you like? Is your partner attractive to you? Is it all about money? Is it about the big features? Is it all about that? Or is your partner actually what you wish for or what you can deal with? You know, is your partner somebody that some women or some men that they are sapiosexual? For example, they're attracted to men that are very intelligent. Do these people meet those criteria that you set for yourselves? So even if they do not meet it, are they working towards your expectation of it? Then we have the ethical compatibility, which comprises of moral and religious compatibility. Now, in terms of that, some people can have different faiths. What is your faith differences, and where do you collide in your faith? Like, for example, I heard of one of my friend. He had an affair with a Christian girl. He's a Christian guy. But
Okay.
he's the kind of Christian guy that do not like when somebody maybe praise, and shout at the top of the voice, regardless of the neighbors and all of that. He's the kind of Christian that do not like such prayers. Now,
Okay.
he's different. He has faith. For example, I'm talking for Christians. He has faith in the Christian church, but he do not, they do not align on that spectrum. So
Okay.
some of all these ethical things can pose ethical, religious, moral. How honest is the person, like Jeff mentioned earlier? Some of all these aspects, the alignment between the partners play a key role in determining how strong or how good the relationship would be. Then the last one is conflict resolution compatibility. For conflict resolution compatibility, there are some partners that are just too strong for the other partner. So partners are just too tough. Some people want to prove that, okay, they can handle it. Happens to most men, actually. Many men want to keep secret for them from their partners. They want to say, okay, I can handle this situation. They are not vulnerable to their partner. So as a result of it, they can maybe over tolerate some certain excesses from the partners, and it could lead to a big bang whenever conflict arises. What is the approach towards conflict resolution? So if all these factors are considered from the early stage, if one knows that it's compatible enough with his partner, it saves a lot of problems along the line of the relationship. But now that there's a relationship already formed, how do we make sure that there's a good relationship? So we look at factors such as vulnerability. Vulnerability, as I mentioned, as I was talking about conflict resolution, is many partners are too tough for their partners. It's important that partners try to be vulnerable enough to be able to share their pain, share their gains, share their wins, and share their losses with their partner. If you do that, it builds trust with the other partner. It makes the other partner feel like I belong to something. It makes the other partner feel like this is us, we're a team, we're not opponents. But once a partner is not as vulnerable, it seems like sometimes they go into a competition. Sometimes some people have, of course, it's okay to have separate accounts in relationships or in marriages, but sometimes people start hiding truths from one another, and this can lead to a number of other factors. So, and also tolerance is a key factor to consider in all these things. When somebody is very tolerant of a partner, you always know that we all have a past, some that we're proud of, some that we're not proud of. And once you accept a partner, you should be willing to accept all the past and all the gains, all the wins, and all the losses that the partner comes with. So bearing that in mind, it's easy to tolerate your partner, to say, oh, okay, and not to judge your partner, to say, okay, because I heard back in the day, I heard you told me that you were cheating on your partner because you did not get enough attention. So whenever your partner goes out, you start judging that partner to say, oh, why did you spend so late outside? Were you cheating on me? Were you calling? You want to monitor, you want to be so judgmental around your partner. So being judgmental is something that can deter a solid relationship. So if one can be less judgmental, more vulnerable, every other thing keys in. I do not believe love is a virus that infects you and say, oh, I'm in love, and so I'm helpless. So no, I think it's about compatibility. I think it's about an intentional decision to grow and live with your partner. And with that in mind, you see the woman that you are with, or you see the man that you're with, as the only woman in the world. Every other woman looks like a man to you, or look like friends to you, not like attractive to you in that sense. You know what I mean?
All right.
So, finish some it up for me.
Fisher, you have a lot to say. I'll come back to you. Just hold on.
Right.
Yeah. Let me get to Jima. Jima, let's listen to your.
Okay. Once again, I want to greet all of you on this platform.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fortunately for us, we are in Africa and we are in Ghana, where light of is a part of our system here. The light just went up, and that's why you can see a dark background in my situation. But be that as it may, I would like to make my contribution. In fact, I think Fisher made a very important contribution. And there is one statement that he made that makes that puts this conversation its right perspective. He talks about compatibility. In fact, I was scanning through trying to find out what at all makes a relationship that strong. But I also realized that there is nothing like life experience. Real life experience.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from real life experience. And when I talk about real life experience, I'm not talking about you as an individual. There are things and informations that you get from friends who have been through this kind of relationship. You can get some from colleagues and a lot of people around. And for me, what I've learned from personal experience to what I've heard from others, what makes a relationship that strong? And my brother Fisher said compatibility, which I agree completely. There is nothing that can replace compatibility.
Okay.
It is the key ingredient. You ought to be compatible. Compatibility in the English sense simply means that you will make up for the weaknesses of your spouse.
Yeah.
Right? The ability to make up for the weakness of your spouse, because I don't think no person in this world is perfect. Everybody has a weakness.
Yeah.
And before we can make sure that that relationship is strong, we must understand that we must understand our weaknesses and how we can make up for those weaknesses. Is this something that I can tolerate? Is this something that I can live with? Is this something that I can work on? Are there things that I can make better? These are questions that one must ask themselves in every relationship. Aside from asking yourself this question, my brother Jeff also talked about trust. You see, we must all be open. I must show my true self to my partner. My partner should show me her true self.
Yeah.
And that is where I would have to make a decision. If I can live with the kind of weakness that I will identify, can I do something to make sure that the weakness of my partner does not affect the relationship? Can we do something about it? Can we live with it? Can we compromise? These answers will come when our true selves are known. But if the person hides his or her true selves to the other and then later reveals it when the relationship has gone far, that is where the problem starts. The trust is broken.
Yeah.
And therefore, that is where some things that were hidden begin to become very obvious. And if you are not careful, you get to a stage where there are things that become obvious that I cannot live with. I cannot tolerate.
Okay.
And when that happens, it means the relationship starts to collapse. It starts to go down. So it is very important that honesty, truthfulness, this is what will build our trust on. I should be able to trust you. You should be able to trust me. And the trust will only come when we are open to each other, when we tell the truth to ourselves in all honesty, when we are frank to ourselves. When you do that, that trust is built. But there is one other thing that we must note. My brother talked about religious compatibility. It is very important as well. But you see, there is a misconception with that religious compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might say, oh, I attend the same church with this person. And for that reason, the fact that I attend the same church with this person, we are compatible. But the danger with that kind of mindset is that in some cases, it might be erroneous. Though you are in one faith, but then there are things that the two of you cannot live with. Just imagine if I don't have tolerance for somebody who is loud. When I say somebody who is loud, I mean somebody who shouts at will, who talks to the hearing of people around. Maybe I don't like that kind of lifestyle. But the person has grown up in a society where that thing is very common, and therefore the person picks up this kind of character or attitude. When I only consider the religious factor and I don't consider the fact that this attitude is an attitude that I cannot live with, and I end up in a relationship with that person, you can just imagine what the relationship will look like. Though religion, in terms of religious compatibility, it is there. But there is an aspect that I cannot live with. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about red flags, for me, I think it goes beyond the person, you and the person sharing one faith. Okay. It goes beyond that. And then one thing that, for me, that makes a relationship that strong. Okay. You see, in the compatibility, there's something that exists, that affection. Mm-hmm. When you are compatible, the affection that exists between the two of you, it comes naturally. When something hurts your partner, because of that compatibility that exists, the love is there, and therefore you feel the pain your partner feels. You get it? But if that compatibility is not there, where one is hurt, the other feels nothing, or thinks it's normal, or it is you that is affected, it doesn't affect me. But if that compatibility really exists, and there is that love, that mutual love, mutual understanding, as soon as one hurts, it hurts the other. And when I talk about hurt, it might not only be physical hurt. It can also be a matter of let's see, when I cheat on my partner, oh, I feel like, oh, today my partner is not around, so it is good to also go out with other girls. You see, because of the fact that that compatibility does not exist, the love does not exist. I do not
Okay.
even think that when he or she finds out, how will she take it? How would that person feel? But if I feel what she feels, if I feel what he feels, if I'm doing any of those things, I'll think twice. I'll think about the fact that her emotions, in case she finds out, what happens?
Jima has said a lot. I'll come back to you, Jeffrey. You talk about communication.
Yeah.
So, what are the key elements of effective communication that, in your opinion, that you think can help build relationship?
I think communication will stand out of. Let me give you a typical example.
Okay.
I have a friend who currently he's not working, but
Okay.
the partner feels that because the guy is not working, like she wants to talk to the guy anytime she calls the guy has to be there, available. Sometimes when I talk to my friend, like he feels frustrated. You get it? He wants a way to tell the girl that even though he's not working, he's doing other stuff. He's searching for this thing. So all these things, I think sometimes communication stands out of you have to know the person you are with. When you know the person you are with, and you know what kind of stuff the person is doing, you're able to know how your communication, like how you people will communicate. And there is no like, I feel like there is no photocopy of a particular scenario. For instance,
Yeah.
how I communicate with my partner will be different from how Fisher communicates with his partner. Do you get it? So you should not copycat anything. And I think that's one of the things that human beings will do. That the last time I was watching a movie and I saw this, it said comparison is the thief of joy, and it's very true.
Yeah.
As far as you put into your mind that you want to have a clear picture of what someone is having, it will steal your joy. Okay, so you have to know the kind of person you are with, what the person is doing, what the person like, and you know how to communicate with the person. You know how to deal with the person well. You can't be a girl or a guy who you want a hardworking man. You want one who has money. You want one who is a gentleman who works. And at the same time, you want 24 hours time. It's not possible. You won't get that in any part of the world. You get it? So I think it depends on how you have to know the person. Know the person. It's very important. For instance, one thing that we don't take notice of it is that is very important to me is, for instance, the person that you want to be with. Do you know his sexual life? Okay,
Yeah.
people, for instance, in Africa, people don't talk more about the sexuality of your partner. You have to know the sexuality of your partner. Is the person who likes sex? Is the person who is not much into sex? Is he does he like casual sex, oral sex? All these things you have to know, because if you don't know, then later on you get into marriage with the person. Probably you might not satisfy the person, then it can lead to something else. Okay, the person might want to find that happiness or joy in someone else, and it can cause breakup. It does not sustain it. So knowing the person, knowing in terms of if it's your religious belief, does it go with the person? If in terms of family, does it go with the person? The last time I gave you a typical example, the guy who went from America to Ghana, then the first day the man saw my friend, the lady friend, the father was like, I don't like the lady. Why? Because some religious matter. For me, when he told me, I was like, no, the guy is finding a way to break up with you, because I feel like it does not make sense. But in another way, I feel like the guy also did not have enough time to know the girl. Okay, know all those things, because you can't be with someone for almost 5 years, 8 years. Then at the end of the day, something like your sexual preference, something like your religion, something like all those things can cause breakup. You've wasted 8 years of your time, while there are almost 6.9 billion people that you could have talked to. You get it? So I think like we should know the person very well. Don't follow other things. Know the person very, very well in terms of every part, like what you need. You won't find it perfect. You compromise, but make sure that what you compromise does not overcome like what you're going for. Every day when I talk with my girl, she'll be like, this thing there, I think you'll be annoyed. Then I will tell her that, you see, your good side overweighs these things. So I don't feel like I should argue with you. You get it? So you compare the two of them. Does the good side overweigh what you can compromise? If what you can compromise that overweighs the good side, don't go for it. You trust me, you will come back like crying all that stuff. So I think in terms of effective communication, you have to know the person very well, and in terms of everything, then those that you can compromise, you can. Those you can't, too, then you move away. So I think that's my take on it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for that, Fisher. I like your spec, but
Yes.
let me pick one from there.
All right.
Conflict resolution. So,
Yeah.
how do you handle disagreement or conflict resolution in relationship?
For conflict resolution, I think most of what Jeff said can even gear towards my own inferences in conflict resolution. For me, communication is key in conflict resolution. Once you know the likes and dislikes of your partner, once you know what takes them off, once you know the deal breakers, which can only be fostered through effective communication, then you should be able to resolve your conflicts. And more importantly, in conflict resolution, there's what we call compromise. Some people are not willing to compromise their position. So especially coming from the part of the world where we're coming from, I don't know much about how it works in Ghana, but in Nigeria where I'm from, a lot of people, men want to say, I am the man, so my word is law. And I mean, come on, the woman has feelings, and some other women think that they are the most pretty women on the planet and they can have maybe options. And because of the illusion of options that even the internet gives us nowadays, with the number of apps with which you can onboard and you can shop for a partner online, it makes it seem like we have so many options. So the willingness to compromise is one of the key factors where people get it wrong. Some people do not want to compromise, and if partners could, consider compromise, that it's not a competition between us. There's no proof of supremacy. Nobody's trying to prove any point. You let your partner win the argument, not because you are right all the time, but because you give them a listening ear. If we listen to one another, which is what communication is all about, I think conflict resolution will be in the bottom of the ladder. And generally, if you look at the necessity of conflict resolution, which is a sign of compatibility, according to my spec philosophy, I would say that the compatibility, first of all, if you have considered all the aspects of compatibility, it will be easy for you to resolve your conflicts. When you do not judge your partner, when you do not feel superior to your partner, when you give listening ear to your partner, it makes it much more easier for you to compromise and to resolve most of the conflicts that we encountered in the course of the relationship.
All right. Thank you very much. Mike.
Yeah, I'm right here.
All right. So you talk about trust. What actions or behaviors contribute to building trust in relationship?
Thank you very much for the question. I'm so having a blackout here, so kindly forgive me for me not being on the call. Okay. You see, trust is built on two things: honesty and then truthfulness.
Okay.
You see, let your partner know who you really are. Like what Jeff said, what are my likes and dislikes? In our sexual conversation, what are my likes and my dislikes? in our daily life, what are the things that you will do that will put me off?
Mm-hmm.
Let your partner know. I'm making call. Why should anytime I get a call, I should take it outside? That is not to say there are some calls that cannot be taken outside, but I'm only saying is that when it becomes rampant on a daily basis, what kind
Yeah.
of conversation are you having that you always want to hide from your partner before you engage in that conversation? My friends, why can't I let my partner know who my friends are?
All right.
Oh, this is a female friend. My partner should be okay with my female friend. Or my male friend. My partner should be okay with my male friends. I'm going out. I should let my partner know where I'm going. She deserves to know where I am.
Should be accountable to your partner.
Yes. She deserves it. Oh, I'll be late. Let her know. Or let him know. These are the reasons why I'll be late. And in telling the reasons, you must be honest. You must be truthful. These are the kind of things you do that builds trust.
Okay.
And when there's a trust in a relationship, the relationship can be as strong as anything. Because there's no fear. Right? I know,
Yeah.
oh, he belongs to me. Oh, she belongs to me. There is no way she's going to cheat on me. There is no way he's going to cheat on me. I strongly believe that he will always be mine. Oh, if Kwame is not here, he is definitely at the sports. I know where he
Yeah.
is. When somebody asks me, I should be able to tell that person, oh, he has gone to Koforidua. Oh, he's gone out. Right? But when a
Yeah.
situation occurs such that, oh, Kwame Nkrumah, oh, Kwesi just went out for a football match, but somebody sees him coming out from a hotel room. That trust begins to go down.
Yeah.
One thing about the truth is that no matter how you try to prevent it from coming out, it will get to a time. Whatever you're hiding, whatever secret you're hiding, will definitely be public for people to know. Oh, Kwesi, time I know man, so to sorry, he's at the workplace. Meanwhile, he's with his girlfriend or she's with his boyfriend. It will get to a time. In your mind, you've kept it a secret.
Yeah.
But it will get to a point where it will become open. And when that happens, that trust is broken. And when it's broken forever.
Okay.
And for me, I think these are some of the things that builds trust
All right.
in any relationship.
There's a saying that trust is like a thread. One is gets torn, that is it. There's nothing you can do. Jeff, let's listen to your last words.
Okay. I think for me, my final words will be centered on primarily, I think it should be trust, there should be honesty, effective communication, then also knowing the person, like very well enough to know that you can compromise on certain things, and also you should know that sometimes you can, like, you might make mistakes. Okay,
Okay.
mistakes are bound to happen. It's not a Davi like a Neverland whereby it's so perfect. Mistakes are bound to happen. So you should know that you should have that kind of able to, your partner should be able to forgive you in terms of all these things. So if you have someone who can easily forgive when you like you go at fault, then that means that it's much more better for you people to try and solve your situations. So I think that is what I have to end with this. Let me listen to Fisher, what he also has.
All right, Fisher. Let's listen to your last words.
Okay.
Jeff wants a Paul.
So for me, in summary, I will still stick by compatibility from the very get-go as the key element that will sustain a relationship for good relationships to thrive. And for that compatibility, like I earlier mentioned, I highlighted 4 key areas which I labeled under the acronym of SPEC. SPEC being S for social compatibility, physical compatibility, ethical compatibility, and conflict resolution compatibility. And if you have those compatibilities in check, then that is your spec. And once you are dating your spec, you should be less judgmental of your spec's past. You should not see your spec as a competition. Whoever you are dating or whoever you're in a relationship with should be somebody that is a team with you. You are on the same side. So most of the time, when you have conflicts, always consider first of all that we are on the same side. We are not opponents. We don't have anything against each other. So we can argue sometimes. Of course, what's a relationship without argument? But at the end of those arguments, always consider that you are on the same side. Being less judgmental and also being vulnerable to your partner, not being too strong for your partner, not being too tough for your partner, being open enough to be expressive enough to your partner, say kind words to your partner, say goofy words to your partner, try to make your partner feel like we are in this together. And with all those elements in mind, definitely any relationship will thrive.
Definitely any relationship will thrive. I like your spec. That is social, physical, ethical, and conflict resolution compatibility. You should base on those things. Jima, let's listen to your last words.
I think Fisher has said it all.
Okay.
The ingredients needed in a strong relationship, I think he has mentioned it. Yeah, compatibility. It's key. And I completely agree with him. Compatibility in what I would like to add to what he said is the ability to complement weaknesses on both sides. As I said, I don't think anyone is going to marry or go get into a relationship with an angel, right?
Okay.
You definitely get to a relationship with a human being. And if you are getting a relationship with a human being, you must understand that as humans as we are, we always have weaknesses. And therefore, if we recognize the fact that we have weaknesses, we should be able to complement each other. There are times we need to compromise. There are times where the strength lies. We need to beef up the strength. Okay? And then probably give complimentary remarks to those strengths so that we do more to ensure that the relationship becomes lively. And also explore. When I say explore, try new things. And yet, it's not always the case. It shouldn't be always the case that we'll do things the same way, the same old fashion. At least once in a while, we must try new things, go out, change places, travel, and then live life. You get it? These things adds up to a very good relationship. I think for now, that is what I have as my ending remarks.
Thank you very much. Travel. Don't always stay home with your partner. You need to sometimes travel and then a vacation, go on a vacation to spice your relationship. The most important thing is communication, because with the communication, you can solve all the conflict in our relationship. So we should build upon our communication in relationship. Thank you once again, gentlemen, for your time, for passing through.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So,
Same here.
viewers,
Same
thank
here.
you very
bro.
much for always having time to watch our video. Write any comment, put your comment down. What do you think are things that make a good relationship? Just put it at the comment section. Try to subscribe and share. Thank you very much.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss.